Hello, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm bringing you a very fiery video. This video does need to be a fiery one because this will be the one helping people. I have come across a lot of things because I help a lot of people in the past week or so that I do need to confront on the spot, and it's people in a self-accountability. This has been with family members, friends, etc., but I have to check the astrological weather because every time we have some kind of switch with the planets, it triggers a new quality within people, and I don't primarily study astrology like that. I usually study it here and there and apply it to crystals or different knowledge, but it's going to be something I definitely look into in the future because it's literally what's behind in all these change in feelings for everyone who's experiencing them, and I believe this has to do with something with Saturn. It's definitely Saturn, but from what I've seen in the past week with tons and tons of people, everyone seems to be blaming everything but themselves. And so this is a very good topic to be talking about this, and I might get very fiery in this video. Don't get offended. If you get offended, it probably triggered you in a way that you needed to hear because no one else was ever going to tell you. So when it comes to self-accountability, think about it like this. This entire reality, and I'll try to limit the fire because I can get very fiery and sometimes my angels will make me reset the video, but when it comes to you guys learning, you really do have to take accountability, and people don't know what that means. People will be stuck in one place their entire lives because they just blamed on everyone but themselves. Now, when it comes to certain things, it's so easy for humans to blame things outside of themselves on things that seem like they can't fix. We start in this world by ourselves. Everything in this world will end with us by ourselves. Don't ask what that was. But everything in this entire world starts with God and starts with us. Everything in this entire world will end with God and end with us. We are created as co-creators in our reality. What does that mean? Everything we ever have around us is something we have manifested for ourselves in one way or another. It could be good, it could be bad, but every little tiny micro decision, every tiny micro thought, every tiny thought pattern leads to us being able to make something for ourselves. I'm going to give a very major example now, because this is a very specific time of the year, and Valentine's Day is coming up, so I see the way people are shifting up, because people are getting freaked out over certain things, especially people in the gym. I'm not calling out any people in particular, but some people in the gym, they're getting freaked out because Valentine's is coming around, and they don't have someone. Think about that. I'm going to say that right now. If you don't have someone for Valentine's Day, that's a problem, because you have yourself, and most importantly, you have God. You can't find another human and think they're going to patch a problem you have within yourself. What happens is people will find another human, get together with another human, and when that relationship doesn't work out, they blame the other human for everything. I see these patterns, especially around Valentine's Day. It's always around Valentine's Day, and people will stop coming to the gym as well. Now, people think, and it's what we see on TV. The societal programming that we see programs us to just flat out look at something in front of us and blame it, and as if we don't have any control over it, when we have every ounce of control over it. So, for example, in the aspect of love, since Valentine's Day is coming up, people are like, well, I would be happy if I just had someone else. And that's not true. You have yourself, most importantly, you have God, but people don't understand what it means to have themselves. If you're not happy with yourself, you're going to end up making someone else not happy because they can sense it. So you'll drag that other person down energetically, and that person will drag you down energetically. It sounds really harsh, right? But it's the truth. It's why people break up and make up and break up and make up, and why people are getting, there's so many different divorces these days. People are having 8 divorces in one lifetime, and you're 34 and you've had how many divorces? Like, that's not okay. That's what I'm talking about in this video. Everything's self-accountability. Now, people going to therapists, people getting help for things. I've heard what certain people's therapists say, Like, oh, everything's okay, everything's outside yourself and you can't really change anything, so you just have to accept everything as being unfair. Okay, life is very unfair, but it's a different kind of unfair. Life is unfair in the sense that things will be unfair for other people until they realize that it's God's love is fair. Okay? I'm trying to say this in the nicest way because I'm not trying to like really shock people in that sense, but what you have to understand is nothing's fair. With the devil on the earth, nothing's fair. He's going to make sure of that. The way God loves us, the way our angels love us, that's beautiful and fair. But the thing is, we live in a reality of both. Until we get to the afterlife, until we get up there, or some of you will go down there, that's fair and that's fair. Dude, on the actions you put out, but let me talk about it like this. But for Valentine's Day, people will realize that they don't have anyone outside themselves, and they'll get very upset. They'll blame everyone but themselves. They'll be angry, upset, mad, yelling, screaming, crying, punching things, etc. But who wants to be with someone who's doing all that? It sounds really, really harsh, and I'm trying to say it in a way that you guys understand it, but think about it like this. There's a crystal called Morganite. It's actually this giant orb right here. Morganite helps people find love, and I'm going to switch the topic from love to other things very soon, but people will find love by wearing Morganite versus rose quartz sometimes. Why is that? It's because Morganite actually tells you that you're the problem very softly and very gently. I have more obsidian, and I have an obsidian energy about myself versus a Morganite energy, even though it's on my heart chakra. But because I amplify the problem and I release it on the spot, but I try to calm it down. But like, I'll amplify the problem as in you heat up the arrow to be able to pull it out because it's stuck. So if there's a problem, I'm going to heat it up and then show it to you on the spot and release it, just like a crystal, just like obsidian. But that's the thing. We have to stop blaming and pointing the finger around everyone but ourselves, because the grass is always greener on the other side. People will see a problem and be like, okay, I can't do anything to change this. It's everything else, but everything's the problem but me. If that was the case, then your problem would be over a long time ago. But you're blaming everything around yourself. I'm not sure if this video is for someone who needs to take accountability, or if this video is for someone who's helping a family member or a friend or something take self-accountability. When you don't feel good, no one can make you feel any feeling. What does that mean? You have to accept things or let things in. If someone made you feel bad, then you let them make you feel bad. You let them make you feel bad. Because that's a gate in your mind. That's a gate in your crown chakra. Do you know how many nasty, horrible, just disgusting YouTube comments in my other comment section I have? It doesn't bother me. I actually talked about this with someone. I'm like, it doesn't bother me. It's because I had to put up a mental shield. Just a firm wall. And I remember, my angels limit how many people viewed my video until I put up that wall. But so many blessings came in after that once I realized, hey, these people can try to insult me, and people come up with some creative insults. People will try to get in because they realize it really doesn't bother me. So there's someone on the YouTube comment said, oh, you're so beautiful and ugly at the same time. So if you see my video on sandwiches, you're kind of sandwiching two factors of information together. It's like, oh, so you drop the guard down and you try to get in. It's kind of like a Trojan war horse. It's basically how people try to sneak into your subconscious mind. You'll see this in other aspects of anything, a relationship, etc. So you have to make sure that you're not the problem. Most of the time, you are the problem. And for the people watching this video, you're able to manifest this reality. And I'm going to manifest something for you right now. You're going to see butterflies this week. Things manifest like this. Like, very quickly. If I say butterfly, you're going to see nothing but butterfly. Butterflies on your phone, butterflies in your feed, butterflies on your TikTok, butterflies on YouTube, Butterfly World. Now you're having all these advertisements for butterfly just because I said butterfly. But if you're saying something like, oh, there's so many problems and I can't do anything about it. Well, now you're going to see more of that, but the reason you're not going to be able to do anything about it is because you manifested it just in that way. This will block your own intuition from you realizing that you create your own feelings. So feelings are stored in the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra, mainly in the solar plexus. As that energy moves up to the crown, We have to evaluate every tiny feeling we're feeling. Even myself, I'm really harsh on certain things. I do some very harsh shadow work. I taught you one of my shadow work rituals, and it was too much for most of you. So I won't be teaching too many harsh shadow work rituals again. It's good I did put that out, but one thing you can do is every time you feel an emotion, and this sounds awful, but it's actually going to help you. It's because in society teaches us to be soft to the point where we don't have an exterior. We don't have a shell. Look at nature. Certain factors in nature. If an animal doesn't have a certain protection about it, it's dead. Its offspring is dead. If you don't like the sound of that, then watch Nat Geo. You'll realize the animals who tried to let their guard down failed their entire families because they were too soft to defend them. So sometimes you have to create an exterior, create a shell. This is natural selection. This is what you can naturally select for your thought processes as well. And if this is one of those videos that's always told me I'm being too harsh, this is because this is something you needed to hear, and no one's gonna ever tell you this. It sucks to hear it, but it's true. Okay? It's the truest thing you'll ever hear, and you probably won't hear anywhere else because that's not what's popping. It's not what's popular, but it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you, and it's gonna make you strong. My advice might suck for a week. It might be horrible to listen to. Oh, this sucks. This is horrible. This is dreadful. I abhor this. Instead of saying, oh, this sucks, I could say more of my vocabulary. I abhor this. But yeah, that's vocabulary that no one seems to learn. I stopped using vocabulary because people are like, what's he saying? But I abhor this. This is dreadfully unpleasing. But when you say to yourself, okay, and this is how I correct myself too. If everything is crazy around me and I just want things to calm down, I sit down and I tell my angels, I'm the problem. I look towards God and I say, God, I'm the problem. I'm the reason I can't calm down, because I can't calm down sometimes. I'll go 2 days and I won't stop moving, and I won't stop making new designs, studying, and I won't calm myself down. And I'm like, I can say to myself, everything around me is crazy, or I can say to myself, I'm not letting myself rest. I made a video about overstimulation yesterday and understimulation. That's exactly it. So find out. So I've actually had multiple people recently come to me about this in the gym. I shouldn't say in the gym, but certain people will tell me like, I am not happy because I don't have anyone and I'm lonely. And I look towards them and I say, well, you have yourself. If anything, that person should get themselves a dog, because if you'd like to know unconditional love, a dog will love you unconditionally. And if you want to milk love out of someone and just get every ounce of energy and every ounce of attention, you'll end up draining them and making them aggravated. And then you won't understand it yourself because no one's talking about topics like this. And it's good to have a harsh topic because this makes them beautiful, amazing, strong people. And you'll be able to help people around you as well. Because what kind of friend do you have if a friend doesn't tell you, hey, like, cut it out, stop? Versus because people will cry for months, people will be in pain for months, and they'll have friends around them and they will be like, oh, I'm so sorry, that's horrible. You're supposed to feel good, and you're supposed to feel love, and you're supposed to feel amazing, and everything around you is that's everything around you that's happening is everyone else's. It's not you, it's everything around you but you, and you'll feel worse for yourself, and you'll go into a worse place. This has to be one of the worst societal mechanisms I see. It's on music, it's on TV, because on TV and movies you'll see, oh, this person's with that person and they marry happily ever after, versus, okay, this person's happy by themselves, they're finding their passions, they're doing what they really love, and they're not blaming everything else on everything else. So the whole movie will be about a person trying to find something outside of themselves when everything comes from within us. There's nothing, and it sounds cliche, it's easier said than done, but there's nothing outside of ourselves that God has not put here for us. He loves us to the point where He allows us to manifest our reality. If you're having trouble doing this, take whatever you're having a problem with and flip it over. Let's just say you're, because Valentine's Day is coming up and people are complaining about that to me right now, but here's an example. Instead of feeling dreadful about being by yourself or being completely alone, which seems to be a very common trend right now, I think with Saturn or something, look towards yourself and be like, look what I love to do. Look how I can make myself happy. I get to do this, I get to do that. Ooh, I like to fish. I like to play basketball. When I hit the ball against the ground, it makes me happy because I hear a frequency, and my angels are just laughing in the background as I hit the ball against the hoop or whatever, etc. Okay? If your gifts are not open, that's another thing, because I specialize in opening gifts. So don't blame people around you for your gifts not being open. I see this, well, I can't ever open a gift because this happened to me 14 years ago and now my gifts can never open. You just put a limiting belief on yourself, which allowed you to never actually open your gifts. And you're gifted, but you're very gifted to the point where you're blocking yourself. So I can go on for days about this. So people are like, well, people are like, I can't manifest financial abundance because there's someone in my family who has the evil eye on me for 10 or 20 years. Like, that's your fault. Take accountability for your actions. Abundance is not financial. Abundance is not just financial. I'll make a video about that very soon. People are like, well, I would like abundance, and people just think abundance is money. If you don't have wisdom, if you don't have knowledge, your money doesn't matter. Okay? Like, I've made videos about this before, and there's people who have won the lottery but have lost it just as quickly as they've won it because they don't have the mental abundance of wisdom. And they don't have the abundance of love that God has given them, but they don't accept it. Or they turn to the enemy, etc. I'm not going to make this video too long, especially because people are pulling up, but this video is about urging you guys to take self-accountability. If you feel bad, if you feel dreadful, if you feel awful, look around you and say, okay, what am I blaming around me? Is it actually what I'm blaming? And look towards yourself. Most people are not going to blame themselves, but ourselves are the ones we blame. If it helps you, I do this myself, and things go so amazingly afterwards. It sucks. It's like ripping off a bandage. But if you can get the habit of blaming yourself for something you don't think you can control, but you can actually manifest control over it, then things get better. It's one of those harsh videos, but it's really going to help people. Take self-accountability, and you'll see nothing but abundance. There's no future. As of this topic, there's no future. There's no past. There's only a present. Because people are like, well, I'll do this in the future. Oh, my next future resolutions. My next future, and people were so like just peeved that I made the video about, oh, you can't tell us not to make New Year's resolutions. None of you are following your New Year's resolutions, and you're blaming it on other things but yourself. People will show up to the gym and blame that they can't work out, or they can't even just be in the gym, which being in the gym is not about working out sometimes. Sometimes it's just about being there. And they'll blame, well, people look at me funny, so I had to leave. If you could imagine what I said to that person, and that person stayed in the gym and they're making some progress now. But take my advice if you want to see serious progress. If you're not serious and you want to, you do have the option. That's what free will is. God gives us the option to be able to blame everything outside of ourselves and blame everything but ourselves for stuff happening. We do have that option. But nothing's getting fixed that way, and you'll attract people who will enable you. You'll attract things and circumstances that will just flat out enable you, and you'll never see the happiness you desire if you blame everything outside of yourself but yourself. It's a harsh video, but like I said, apply it and it's gonna work. Sit down with yourself and say, I'm the problem. God, please. And ask God for help. You're not alone. I did say you wake up with God at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, you'll leave the world with God. That's it. So look towards God and say, God, please, I am the problem. I'm being a problem to myself, and I'm making problems around me that I don't know I'm making. And guess what? Things will magically get better, but when they do, don't forget to realize that we take self-accountability, because once things do get better for people, once things get better for people are like, oh, everything's normal again. Like, I just go back to my old ways. Keep taking self-accountability and you'll see massive change. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Till then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.